Good morning, everyone. So let's get started. I want to start with a quick question. How many of you here have ever created a document on any work-related topic and then shared that out with other people at work? Okay, most of us. So a fairly common thing for all of us to do when we're working on a project, sending out a report, sending out training material, reference documents. So let's take this Word document as an example, kind of a typical Word document. Talks about the product deployment strategy. It has a lot of important information about the plan, the goals, the schedule. It's very heavy on text, right? And pretty important to share that out so that other stakeholders are fully aware of what the plan is. They're reading through all the details. So I could share this out as a Word document, just like this. Or I could also do something different. I could take the exact same content and share it out in a format that looks more like this. Like a beautiful web-based document. Like it's visual. There are all of these subtle animations throughout. It flows continuously like a web page. It has pictures incorporated to make it more of a visual experience. It's interactive, right? And just overall a more modern and engaging output that you could share out with your audience. So you may be looking at this and thinking, this looks great. It also looks really complex and expensive to make. Exactly how much work is involved in creating something like that. And so that's the kicker. All it takes to make something like this is one click of a button. One click of a button to go from a Word document that looks like this to a beautiful web page that looks like that. So my name is Einav Silverman, and I'm a program manager on the SWAY team. And in today's session, I'm going to be showing you how you can achieve similar results very easily for documentation in your organization using all of your favorite rich authoring capabilities in Word alongside a product called Sway. So quick show of hands. How many of you here have ever used Sway? Whoa, that's great. OK. So for those of you who are not familiar with Sway, I'm going to give a general overview on what exactly Sway is all about. And for those of you who are familiar with Sway, I think you're going to appreciate this because we're also going to be sharing a sneak preview of a bunch of the new features that we're getting ready to release. And just to kind of also make a quick note, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please make a note of that. I have a lot of really cool demos that I want to get through, and so at the very end, we'll address questions, OK? All right, so let's start with what exactly is Sway. So Sway is one of the newer Office products, and it helps you create the beautiful and engaging web-based documents for things like reports, newsletters, training material, reference documents, presentations. The general concept behind Sway is that it enables you to focus on your actual content, on the actual document structure, right? All of the actual kind of messaging and those aspects of it. And then you don't have to worry as much about the actual design and formatting and layout because Sway will automatically take care of all of that for you. And so you can see over here the variety of different outputs that Sway can create. And you can create a Sway from scratch, or you can also create it from your existing content. If you have a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation or a PDF file, you can instantly transform that into a web page of Sway. Now, with Sway's intelligent design engine, it not only produces these kind of beautiful, modern results for you, but it will also, it's responsive, and so it will also automatically relay out and redesign the content to make it look great on any device that it's viewed on. So whether it's a mobile device or a desktop, it automatically handles that for you. Now, just a note about this presentation, I chose to use Sway so that you can kind of get a sense of the overall experience as we're going through this. And so for things like the interactivity that you're seeing here, you can kind of notice all of those elements as we're going through the session today. So on a quick personal note, one of the big reasons that I love working on this product is because I'm actually a huge fan of the product, and I use it myself pretty much daily at work for my own documentation needs. So I do things like sending out business reports to the leadership team. I'll send out very lengthy process documents on how we work and what tools we're using. I'll write documentation on feature specifications and what we're going to implement. And as much as I hate to admit it, the content can get pretty dry and sometimes boring when I'm sharing that out. But it's really important for me. It's really important that when I'm putting in all that effort, it's critical that others are actually taking the time to read through that. And so when I started using Sway for my documentation, the two big things that I instantly noticed is, one, I'm able to focus more on the actual content, on the actual key messages, on how to get my message across. I'm not getting distracted by things like what font should I choose, what color should I choose, what style, what specific position should I place the pictures, right? All of that was very, very time-consuming, and it's very critical because you want your output to be engaging. You're putting all of that effort into your actual content, and then the presentation of it is pretty critical as well. And so I don't have to worry about all of that, and as a result, I'm more focused on the actual key messages. And additionally, Sway creates a much more engaging and compelling output that I could achieve in a reasonable amount of time. And as a result, when I'm sending that out, it's that much better for the users that are reading through that. So of course, don't take my word for it only, as I do work on the product. We do talk to a lot of customers and pretty regularly kind of ask the question of exactly what is it about Sway that's helping people do their job? What is unique about it that's helping them? And so it's pretty cool. Sway launched a little over 2 years ago and already has more than 24 million users, so definitely growing. And you can see here some examples of different companies that are using Sway today across different industries for different purposes. So to name a few examples, so for example, Sarah, she works at Under Armour. She's the communication manager. And she likes to use Sway to send out internal newsletters and reports to field managers that are using their mobile device to view the Sway, or to the leadership team. And it's interesting. Sarah actually has a background in graphic design, but she is still choosing to use Sway because it's saving her a lot of time, right? She doesn't have to actually dedicate all that time to the final output and polish. And she's really happy with the results that she's getting with Sway. And you can see from what she says there, the second she switched over to Sway and started to send that out, she was getting all of this really great feedback, right? Kind of an indicator of higher engagement with the content. Dave is another great example. He works at Cornell University, and he uses Sway to create things like resources and reference materials that have multimedia integrated, and then he hosts those Sways right on the organization's website. Tobias uses Sway. He's from Media Planet. He uses it for things like handbooks and tutorials. And then Amy from Ernst & Young, she uses Sway for things like trip reports. So you can see a variety of different documentation types, right, across different industries. What's really cool is to see what they all have in common, right? We kind of see a consistent theme. They all need to write documentation and send that out to people at work. They really care about others actually taking the time to consume the content. And so therefore, they want to make it more engaging. And Sway is helping them do that. Sway is helping them do that with minimal effort on their end and minimal expertise needed because it's that easy. And so what I want to show you now is exactly how easy it is. So let's go back to that document that we started with, right? And so this is the nice thing, very flexible. You can start with Word using all of your favorite authoring and, like the richness of the authoring capabilities, like track changes and comments and editor. And then when you're ready to share this out, you go to File, Print. And now you have two options. You have your regular print option, print to paper, and there's a new option over there. This is something new that we're working on right now, so you get to see a sneak preview of it. When you select this option here, you see a preview of what your Word document would look like as a Sway web page, with all of these really cool styles that you can choose from. So for example, if I want to see what this one would look like, I just get an instant preview of that Word document with that style applied. I think I'm going to go with Midtown. And so you can see I get a preview also for the phone as well as desktop. And remember I mentioned at one click of a button? Here it goes. Okay, and so Sway now is transforming the document, doing so kind of intelligently, understanding the overall document structure, the overall heading styles, the overall emphasis of certain content, and then creating this engaging web page with enhancements. You see immediately you get this beautiful image in the background, and there's also these really subtle but cool animations throughout the web page, right? It lays out all the content for you, and all of that really, really easily transformed. So I was having a hard time choosing which style to actually show you, and so I'm going to show you one more. So here's another example, maybe a typical how-to document. You're wanting to send out information to others in the organization about securing their devices, educating them about the threats and what they need to know, right? Maybe not the most fascinating thing for people to actually choose to read, like HR guidelines or all the corporate training, but really important information that you want them to read. And so when I'm ready to share this out, I go to File, Print, Print to Web. And let's go with a different design for this one, Sierra. Okay, and what you'll see now is a very different look and feel. So it's really cool. Sway has a variety of different design elements that it will apply depending on your content and depending on your specific choice for the style. And you can see kind of that subtle blending of the title into the image and all of these subtle animations for the pictures to be popping into the document, right? And all of that just with that click of a button. So at this point, I'm done. I could just copy the link to the Sway webpage and send that out to my audience. By default, using your Office 365 organization account, only people in your organization can actually view this Sway, right? And if you wanted to modify that, I'll show you how you can do that a bit later. Now, when they receive this link, it's just like receiving any link to a web page, right? They click on the link, it opens up in the default browser, no matter what device they're using. So again, mobile, desktop, Sway will automatically make it look great on whatever device they're using. And what I want to do is also quickly show you what that same Sway looks like on mobile. Okay, so here's that Sway, and so you can see responsive design, and so increased font size, increased image sizes, it's touch-friendly, right? And just overall, a delightful experience on your mobile device without me having to do any extra work to make this, to make it work this way. Okay, so we could share it out as is, or we could do a few additional tweaks to make some more enhancements to make it even more compelling and interactive. And so what I want to show you is a few examples of other Sway users and how they're applying those little tweaks to their Sways that they're sharing out at work. Okay, so let's start with Tobias. He is the head of ad operations at Media Planet, and he uses Sway to create handbooks and tutorials for things like tools and processes that he then rolls out to his team. And before he used Sway, he used to use more traditional static PDF files, right? And he was pretty excited to discover Sway because it meant he was able to take all of his existing content, transform it into a much more modern and engaging web style of a document. And it was much more engaging to his team when he started sending it out in that format. And not only that, he also appreciated the fact that using Sway meant everything is cloud-based, everything is online. He didn't have to manage versions. He didn't have to worry about kind of what different versions of the file are out there and is it out of date. He only had the one Sway, the one place where he would make updates, and then everyone who had access to the link would automatically get those updates. And so that was also kind of a different workflow for him and something he considered a big benefit in moving to Sway. And so I want to show you this really cool Sway that he created right up front. I love how he incorporated the animated GIF in there, and it's just automatically inviting you and making you want to actually read through this. So he incorporates beautiful pictures throughout. It helps tell a more visual story of his content. He also does this really cool thing over here where he added an interactive stack, right? So you can see as a viewer, I can just tap on this in order to view the different pictures. And again, these subtle things that are making the whole experience just more engaging. So another cool example is Amy. She works at Ernst & Young, and she likes to use Sway to share out her experiences and learnings for things like tools and technologies that she learns about at conferences like Ignite. And what she likes about Sway, very similar also, she likes to be able to tell a more visual story, and Sway gives her the tools to be able to do that more easily. And not only that, she doesn't need to be a designer in order to achieve great results. It's very easy to produce like really polished and compelling results using Sway without much effort. And so if we take a look here, also a really cool example. Amy created this Sway. It's about incorporating social media in the workplace. And you can see how she integrates these really cool illustrations to help complement the content. Sway automatically applies all of these animations without her having to do any extra work to get that. And you can see she also embeds a video. So the advantage here is rather than have a link to a video and have then users leave the Sway, go to another browser window, view the video there, then come back, all of that is keeping people focused on the actual document. It's embedded within the Sway. They view the video. They continue to browse through the document. So making it more convenient, more focused. Now, if I click this button down below here, you get this really cool visual and interactive table of contents, right? And so you can quickly scan through to see what are all the different sections in the Sway. You can jump to specific sections. And guess how much work it takes to put together a table of contents like this? 0, right? It's built in. Every single Sway that you create, you get this kind of a visual table of contents built in. Again, kind of adding additional elements that are interactive, that are making it more engaging to consume the content. In case you're wondering, by the way, notice that I'm showing you another Sway, but I never even opened another browser window or anything like that to do that. It's all within my current presentation Sway, because I've embedded a Sway within a Sway. And so again, like you saw, Amy embedded a video, I've embedded a Sway. All of that is interactive embeds that you can add to your Sway, keeping your viewers just in context, which is pretty cool. So we got a few really cool ideas, and I want to go back to the sway that we started with, right, and start incorporating all of those ideas to show you how easy it is to do that. So once we have the sway that we started with a Word document, transformed it into a sway, right, and now we're here. So I click the Edit button, and that brings me to the sway editing experience. We call it Storyline. And so what you can immediately see is Sway breaks up the content into these cards. You have a title card, a text card, a heading card, a picture card. All of this helps you focus on the content itself. There's nothing here about the style, about the design, about the formatting, right? All of that is handled by Sway automatically. So this helps you just focus on the overall document structure. So if you want, for example, to reorder elements, it's a simple drag and drop of cards around. Or if you want to group them together in order to then apply some group styles, I'll show you how we do that in just a bit. OK, so now I want to incorporate additional pictures, just like Tobias and Amy did with their sways. So let's go to the goals section over here. And now notice how I automatically get a suggested pane that shows me specific suggested search terms that are based on the content in my sway. I didn't have to type anything in the search box. This all happens automatically with relevant content for my sway. And so I'm going to choose goals. And what's happening now is Sway's compiling a collection of pictures and videos, all of it relevant to the topic, and across different sources. So I'm getting pictures from Bing Images, from Flickr, from YouTube, all of that without me having to leave Sway, right, to go search manually myself. All of this is helping me stay focused on my actual document. So let's choose something here. So I like that one. So I just drag and drop that picture right into the sway. Again, I'm not doing anything except for adding content. I'm not resizing, I'm not positioning it, I'm not formatting it. I think I want to also spice up this research one here. And notice the search terms are automatically updated depending on where I'm at in the sway. So I select research, and I think I'm going to go with this one here and just drag it right to the specific order I want it in. OK. Now, the other thing that Tobias did that I really liked was the stack of photos, right? That interactive stack experience. So I have these charts here that are all related. So I'm going to select them and then group them. And now I'm getting some options for different group styles that I can choose from. So I can make it a grid. I can make it a slideshow. I can make it a comparison. Depending on what your need is, what the intent is, what you want your viewers to experience. And so I select the stack. And I'm also going to emphasize it because these charts are pretty important. OK, so we haven't really looked at anything related to design, but let's go take a little preview to see what is Sway doing with all of this content and changes that we've made. So here we go. Incorporated the pictures and places it automatically in the section, aligning it with the text. Then I have my interactive stack over here, and fairly easy, right? OK, so now I mentioned to you embedding content, right? So I want to show you how you can do that. So opening up this cards pane over here, you can kind of get a sense of the different content types that you can add to Sway. So you can add text, headings, images, videos, audio recordings. So I'm going to drag an embed card. I want it placed right over here. And so for embeds, you can actually embed a variety of different objects. You can embed interactive map from Google or Bing. You can embed tweets. You can embed a table from Excel. You can embed an entire Word document that users can then scroll through right within the context of your Sway. What I want to show you is how to embed a Power BI. And so I've created this chart over here. And select Publish to Web. Now all I need to do I don't need to understand the code. I don't need to write the code. I just need to copy it and paste it right into the embed card. I'm also going to emphasize it. Okay. And then let's also add one more embed here. There's this really cool product, also one of the newer Office apps called Microsoft Forms. More recently became available for you to use with your Office 365 organization account, right? And it's a great way to create surveys very, very easily. So I created this one in under 2 minutes. And so now if I want to embed this survey in my Sway, I just go and get the embed code and just paste it right here in the embed card. I'm going to emphasize that one as well. Now let's go again to the design view and see what Sway is doing with these embeds. So I think this is pretty cool. It shows that chart right within the Sway. As a viewer of this Sway, I can interact with it. So I can view all the different charts. And not only that, I can also interact with the actual data, right? If I want to drill into this chart some more, if I want to apply the filters, I can just do that directly right here within the Sway. Rather than, again, sending users over to Power BI to view the chart, all of that is in the context of your document, making it more engaging. Like, here is that survey that I've embedded. I think this is very handy, right? How often do we send out documentation and specific topics, and we actually want to get feedback from key stakeholders, rather than include a link that most people are not going to click on in order to go and respond to a survey, right? It's hosted right here, and so it's very easy for them to just read through the documents, respond to my questions, and stay in context. So a really great tool as an author to get instant feedback on your documents. All right, now let's shift gears and talk a little bit about design. So for those of you who are Sway users, I think you'll appreciate this. This has been one of the most common requests that we've got. We now have, or we are working on a feature, so you get to see a sneak preview of being able to add your company logo to your Sway, and we'll be releasing this soon. So you expand the title, and then you add a logo. So I got the Sway logo over here. I'm just going to select that one. And in the very Sway style of things, I just add my content. Sway will handle all the output for me, right? And so let's go to the design view. And that's exactly what's happening here. So Sway will determine, based on the style, based on the actual content and the title, where exactly to position the logo. And so you can see it showing up over here. Now, we talked about how Sway will just create that final polished output for you so that you can just share that out. But if you do want to have some control over the overall look and feel of the Sway, you do have some options over here. So if you open the Styles tab, you can choose the overall layout. You can choose the overall style and color theme. So right now we have a vertical layout selected, which is kind of similar to a web page style, right? Another one of the popular layouts is horizontal. And then let's also go with something a little different. So for example, you can choose a professional style, or you can choose a more casual, fun style. And so just to show you the different personality that you can get of your document, here are some different options applied, right? So it's a horizontal experience where I get to scroll through the Sway, and you can see it applied this cool background and is using a different font and has this frame around the paragraphs of text, and just a very, very different personality to the Sway. Now, if you wanted to apply your company brand color, you could do so by going to Customize and just entering RGB or hex value right in here. And then Sway offers you a variety of styles that is using your corporate branding as part of it. So at this point, oh, and let me also just go back to our previous style over here. I just did an undo, and it can go back to whatever you used. So at this point, we're done, right? We've added a few additional enhancements. And now I want to play so I can get a sense of what my viewers are going to see. And so you can see all of the things that we've added showing up, the additional pictures, the stack, the Power BI chart, and then the survey as well. Now we're ready to share it out. So we talked about how you can just copy the link and then send that out in email. Or if you want to change the sharing options, you can go into the share menu. You can restrict it further and just share that out with specific people in your organization. Or do the opposite. If this is something that's going out to your customers or partners, or you're going to be posting it on social, you can just change it to anyone with the link, and then anyone would have access to it. No authentication required for that. Now, at this point, you've shared it out. The next thing that would be really beneficial is if you'd be able to get some insights on how effective is the documentation, what's the level of engagement. And so I'm pretty excited to show you that we have this other really cool feature that is coming soon, the ability to get analytics on sways that you've shared. So when you switch over to the Analytics tab, you can see you get detailed information on each one of your sways, right? So if you think back to the example of Sarah, who works at Under Armour, she's sending out these weekly newsletters and reports, and she now can use this information to understand like how many people are doing a deep read of the information, how many are just glancing, what's the % of completion, how much time are they spending on it, right? Really useful information to figure out, is it working? Should she do any kind of improvements to her documentation, all within the single view here. OK, so what I'd like to do now is show you real quickly a little bit more of the mobile experience. So we talked about how consuming the content is very, very nice on a mobile device, right? That it's automatically optimizing the content to a mobile screen. You also have the ability to author on mobile. And so you can download the Sway for iPhone and iPad app from the store. And if you need to make any kind of edits or create new sways, you can do so right from within the app, whether you start from a template or from your photos. So let's make a few edits here to the exact same sway that we've been working on. To do that, I want to co-author with my coworker here, Kim. She's also on the Sway team. And so I'm going to select the Share menu and invite people to edit. Now, I could share with her an edit link, right? Or something really simple. She's right here. And so I'm able to select her from nearby Sway users. So anyone in my organization who's nearby would show up in this menu over here. So I select Kim, and I send her an invite. She's now getting the invite and instantly able to join and start co-authoring the Sway. Now, what's neat about this is we both have our own pictures and videos and notes that we've been taking on our devices. Rather than have to send that around an email or upload it to a shared location, like on OneDrive, she's able to just upload all of her content directly into the Sway. And as we're talking, you're seeing things, of course, showing up here right in the Sway. Now, the nice thing here about the Sway authoring experience on mobile, again, it's very similar. It's card-based. So it makes it very easy, like with the phone and the touch experience, to just drag and drop if you need to reorder or group things. Also with Sway, again, doing all of this automatic polished output for you means if you're on the go, if it's a small screen size, you don't have much time to actually mess around with formatting and style and such, Sway is just doing that automatically for you. And so you can just hit the preview button and see the actual result. And then when you're ready, you can just share it out directly from your phone using all the standard iOS options. Or you can also select to export or print this. This is also a new feature that we are going to be releasing soon. And so, for example, if you wanted to actually print it out directly from mobile, if you wanted to convert this into a Word document or PDF, you can do that directly from your phone. And so it's kind of doing the reverse from where we started. It goes from a Sway to a Word document. And at this point, you can have access to it offline. You can archive it. You can print it out. OK. Great. So to summarize everything, we started with a Word document, right? Once you're ready to share it out, we transform it into a Sway web page. With just a few additional tweaks, you can use Sway to add things like web images that are suggested for you, adding things like embedded content to make it more interactive, or that stack of images. Sway automatically then just makes it look great, applying the design and also making it look great on any device that it's seen on. It's very, very easy to share. For others, they just click on that link and they open it in their default browser on whatever device that they're using it on. And then finally, if you do need to create Sways or make updates on the go, you can use the Sway iOS app to very easily do that. OK, to get started, you just go to sway.com. You can sign in with your Office 365 organization account, or you can sign in with a Microsoft account. It's available as a web experience like I showed you today. It's available as an iPhone and iPad app. It's also available as a Windows 10 app that you can download from the store. Using your 365 account, you get access to more advanced functionality. So using your Office 365 subscription. So things like what you saw today, analytics and logo, also custom templates has been one of the top requests. All of that is part of your subscription. And then we also created a Sway About Sway for you. So it contains a bunch of tips and tricks on how to make your Sways pop. And it also contains some useful resources, such as administrator type of features, and also like the roadmap. It also has information about feedback. And what I want to mention about feedback is a lot of the new features that you've seen today are all based on input we got from Sway users. So thank you for that. And it really helps us understand what exactly you need most and helps us prioritize what we do next. And as you continue to use Sway, every few weeks you'll notice there's that what's new dialog that pops up and kind of shows you here are the new things that are included. And so you can tune in and check that out. And speaking of feedback, Kim and I are going to be around for another 10-15 minutes after the session. Come by if you have any specific questions, if you want to talk some more. We're also going to be around if you'd like to meet up at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. today. We're going to be at the Community Central right over here at West Hall. So we have a sign-up sheet. If you're interested, we can talk some more about how you want to use Sway in your organization and any kind of blocking issues that we can work through, any feedback that you have. OK, thank you very much.